Hello people and welcome to Btekt. David here, and let's talk about the Nokia 7 Plus. Now this handset first featured on the channel way back when we was at MWC 2018. I was behind the camera then and Ian got to do the hands-on with the device. We was very impressed with the look and the feel of the 7 Plus, especially when you consider the reasonable pricing of this phone. For £349 you get a very good looking and solidly built phone, which is machined from a single slab of 6000 series aluminium, and it has Gorilla Glass 3 protecting the screen on the front. So that's not the latest iteration of the super strong glass, but according to Zach from the YouTube channel Jerry Rig Everything, Gorilla Glass 3, although not as strong as Gorilla Glass 5, it seems that it may have more hardness, meaning that it's more resistant to scratches. If you don't know Zach's channel, then you really should check him out. He tests the durability of smartphones by putting them through a set of scratch, burn and bend tests. I will link his Nokia 7 Plus test in the description below, which passes with flying colours by the way. It's great to see that Nokia phones are still tough. I remember intentionally trying to destroy a Nokia 3310 from way back in the day. We placed it underneath the wheels of a van and then slowly drove on top of it, then pulled a wheel spin and drove over the thing with both wheels, and it still worked perfectly. Try doing that with your S9 Plus and see what happens. Okay, granted, the 7 Plus is probably not built as well as that, but the build is super solid and I'll get into that later. Before we go on, I'd like to give a shout to our sponsors Direct Mobiles. They have 23 years of award-winning customer service, which means they'll go the extra mile to make sure that you're happy with your new phone. Check out their deals in the link in the video description below or search directmobiles.co.uk. So let's get it open and see what you get inside the box. I'm not really a fan of the packaging. It makes it feel like this is a cheap phone, but it's still 350 quid, which is a lot of money, so it'd be nice if they made a little bit more effort in this area. Other than the handset, in here is all the usual stuff: SIM ejection tool, a USB Type-C cable, a pair of earbuds, and the fast charging power brick. But you also get a free case in here, so at least you're protected straight away. But I would recommend getting yourself a better case. I was really impressed back at MWC, and I'm even more impressed now that I have it in the studio. We have a 6-inch IPS LCD panel with an 18:9 aspect ratio, which I have no problems reading in the bright sunlight. I really like the rounded edges to the screen, which lead into these fairly chunky bezels, but I don't mind the bezels on this phone. I've said it before, if you've got a good sized screen, then I think you can get away with a bit of bezeling. And I think this is a good example of that. Next to that Nokia logo on the front, there is a 16 megapixel sensor with f2.0 Zeiss optics and 1080p video recording, and the only other thing on the front is a speaker grill. The diamond cut edges chamfer off from the screen and have this beautiful anodized copper finish to them. On the right there is a metal SIM tray with room for a microSD card or for dual SIMs. MicroSD expansion is supported up to 256GB. All of the buttons are on the other side and they're all metal for a premium feel. On top we have a good old fashioned 3.5mm headphone jack, and underneath it's equipped with USB Type-C connectivity and a bottom firing speaker. Let's have a little listen to it.
I think about it all at once in a while when I spot a rainbow. Set his winds on my classic car, four-leaf clover or a $2 bill. It's so rare that it's so unreal, and I don't know how to get over her smile. I wonder what she's doing now.
Yeah, it's a little tinny, and it could be a bit louder too I think, but I think it was already kind of distorting at its peak volume anyway. Any louder would distort it even more. Being a unibody design, the back of the Nokia 7 Plus is metal, but it's covered in 5 coats of this beautiful soft touch ceramic paint. It feels a bit like rubber and provides a bit of a grip, but it does show the fingerprints a little bit. Not quite as much as glass, but you will need to rub it down every now and again. This phone is splash resistant with an IP54 rating, so you don't have to worry about it too much out in the rain, but I wouldn't intentionally get this phone wet. That sleek paint job together with the copper accents, well, it just makes this phone look so classy I think. The accents wrap neatly around the rear mounted fingerprint scanner, which is perfectly placed by the way and works very well. That copper wraps around 2 more Zeiss branded lenses. The main is an f1.8 and is paired with a 12 megapixel sensor with dual pixel autofocus, and the secondary is an f2.6 lens paired with a 13 megapixel sensor with 2x optical zoom. The main camera has large pixels and combined with the Zeiss optics produce very nice results in most lighting conditions. Things do get a little bit noisy in low light. There is a few nice touches to the camera app though. You get picture in picture that takes a shot with the rear camera and the front camera simultaneously to get your reaction whilst you're taking the shot. You also get that horrible beauty mode and live bokeh mode, which is a portrait mode but works well with both the front and the rear cameras. You also get a pretty decent pro mode, giving you control of all the camera settings, including the shutter speed, white balance, ISO, exposure compensation and focus.
You get a stabilizer on the front camera, electronic by the looks of it. Or is that optical?
No, it's definitely electronic image stabilization. The rear video quality maxes out at 4K 30 frames per second, and there's slow motion too. It's not the super slow stuff of Samsung and Sony, but it's pretty good. All in all, this is a very solid camera package for the price. I think I'll do another video on the camera because I really like the images that you get from this thing, which is more than likely due to the Zeiss lenses. Powering this phone is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 660 with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage. Even though the specs are not too shabby on this phone, I'm getting sketchy performance from it. Sometimes it's good, and it should be. Whilst not being the very latest from Qualcomm, it's still a very good processor. But despite this, scrolling always seems to be a little bit jumpy, and I have had it temporarily freeze up on me a few times. Hopefully the performance issues can be sorted out very soon, because it does kind of spoil what could actually be a really good phone. Everything about it just feels premium, which is largely thanks to the amazing build quality. Personally, I like it. I like a lot about this phone actually. Stunning looks. I just love how the screen is framed with that copper trim and then the black paint across the chamfer. It's built like a tank with no glass on the back. Okay, it means no wireless charging, but who cares? It's got decent camera with 4K video and a massive 3800 mAh battery, which is claimed by HMD Global, people who make Nokia now, that it will last you 2 days. And even with my heavy usage, it pretty much does. The Nokia 7 Plus also supports fast charging and is claimed to be able to get you from 0 to 50% in about 30 minutes, which is really impressive when you consider the size of the battery. As this phone supports fast charging and has such a large capacity battery, I thought it would be a good phone to test out this 7000 mAh portable fast charger, the Iceworks 7000. It's an ultra slim design at just 8mm, so it has a form factor of like a large phone, and it has a built-in USB cable for charging your device. It comes in this nice protective soft case, which allows you to slip your phone inside as well for a nice neat charging solution. It managed to get the Nokia 7 Plus from 0 to 50% in just over 45 minutes. So not too bad really. Not quite as quick as the Nokia's Power Brick, but that's kind of to be expected, but still not bad at all. The Iceworks 7000 is only available from Amazon for $19.99. The solid build of the Nokia 7 Plus and the fact that it runs Android One, because of that it will be among the first phones to receive updates, and it means potentially that this phone could last you a very long time. The dodgy performance could be a deal breaker for some, but for me, it's not really a problem, and I'm really enjoying using the Nokia 7 Plus. So that's it from me. IFA is in a few weeks, and I'll be there checking out all the latest from all the big manufacturers as soon as they announce what they have for us. Thanks for watching, and please make sure you hit the subscribe and the like button to keep up to date with the latest. I'm David Wildman and this is Btekt.